Well, I think that to the last point, I think that most of the companies that I see and where we are involved actually have a heavy manufacturing base. So both in China and in the United States. So I don't think. I mean, it will hit, but it to the extent it's going to be very. It's hard to say. What I'd like to say is that it's extremely unfortunate what we see right now. It's obvious that the big powers, China and the United States, look upon the rule book in a very different way on WTO. All history tells us is that protectionism will lead nowhere and usually into a very, very bad situation. And unfortunately, I think what we're seeing right now is actually going completely in the wrong direction. And it's not only one side's fault, I would say, because you have to remember that physical trade, I think 2/3 of the world's physical trade is actually happening in Asia. And therefore we have to be mindful of that all the growth rate and everything that is going on is actually going to a large extent in the vicinity of the of China. Whereas the trade relationship between China and the United States is immensely important for both sides. So, hopefully they will come to an effect, to a position where they actually really try to save it. What is worrisome, at least from my point of view, is that even though China is now, perhaps together with the United States, trying to find to solve this situation at some point in time going forward, the big question is what will go into the next step. China is a country that lives in their thought process and their policies for decades. United States and Western Europe turns around their political situation every 4 or 5 or 6 years. It's a very different game that we're seeing. So that is one side, the trade side. What is very closely coupled with the trade for the future, if you look 10 years out, 20 years out, is of course the technological basis on which you're doing business. Today we're talking about 5G. What are we going to talk about in the future? And are we going to see a bifurcated world in terms of technology going forward? Some people say we're already there. And we know that is very uneconomical. We know that from the telecom sector. My family is a large owner. We represent a large owner of Ericsson. I mean, we know, if you look back into history, that when you're trying to have several different standards on telecommunication, it's not very economical. We've brought communication to the point where it is today because we've been able to agree on a basis for the technology. Are we going to see that in the future? Big question.
Hi, I'm Joanna Bersecci, and thank you for watching. You can check out more of our videos by clicking on the boxes on the screen. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more from CNBC International. Thank you for watching.